with colored hearing may hear everyone's voice as having a unique color.
Yeah.
Now, if they are involved in a choir, they could find themselves overwhelmed. I was right by their perceptions when everyone is singing together, experiencing symptoms of sensory overload such as headaches and nausea. Welcome to Spaghetti Junction. My name is Gareth.
My name is Bruce.
And we talk about things. We just don't know where they're going to go. So where things are going to go, in this episode, another tongue teaser, so to speak. Last episode was Parahu.
Polyamory.
I wasn't even close. And this one is Synesthesia. Is that close?
Synesthesia.
That's even better. 2 big words of the day. So synesthesia.
I
give up. Is a neurological condition in which information meant to stimulate one of your senses stimulates several of your senses.
Sure.
That's where we're going to go.
Yeah. My research brought up some interesting stuff as well.
Well, you researched. I know all of this. I spoke with Rowan.
So, yes. I think we have Rowan to blame for this one.
Well, he blamed me. So I have to send a disclaimer to Rowan Jennifer Keat.
Rowan Jennifer?
Yep.
Wow.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just calling him Jennifer. Okay, I'll have to say I'm sorry next one for saying that. Anyways, a disclaimer because the last time that I think it was episode 24. Because what? No, 24.
26?
Oh, man. The one before.
Oh, sorry. Not.
I think it was 25.
Right.
24, 25, whatever. Okay, somewhere along those lines. The point being, what I mentioned at the end, Rowan did ask one for a long time ago where he said, can you do a topic on how to smell color?
Yes, see.
Okay. Like, can you smell color? I was like, I'm pretty sure he was.
I think we can have a chat about that.
I'm pretty sure he was just being Rowan and was looking for trouble. So no. And then he sent me a link of the actual word, and I said to him that I must apologize. So Rowan Jennifer Keat, I'm sorry that you were right.
But you can be forgiven because Rowan has been known to speak lots and lots of nonsense in years gone by.
Thank you.
Ask me how I know.
Disclaimer, yeah. So that's it. So we thank Rowan Jennifer Keat for this topic that he actually brought up a long time ago, and I was like, yeah, that doesn't sound right, but okay. It is. Yeah.
Wow.
So let's get right into it. While I have a look at our timing thing.
So
yes, do it.
So basically, we've got people, a small, albeit a very small group of the human population, mm-hmm. who almost have, some people like to call it maybe a little bit of a superpower.
Okay.
And it could be, I must say, it's quite an interesting way of experiencing everyday life, because you've got people who will maybe hear a particular person's name, hear a piece of music or something, and associate a color with that name, or possibly even a taste mm-hmm. of a particular food group with something. It's crazy. There are quite a few different
crazy, bro. It's so crazy. Oh yeah. So now here's the word that I'm not going to get right. So people who have synesthesia,
right? Ooh, look at that! He got it right.
Are called
synesthetes.
Synesthetes. There we go.
There you go. All right, cool.
Yep, and they can often see music as colors when they hear it and taste textures like round or pointy when they eat foods. And another form of it joins objects such as letters, shapes, numbers, or people's names with a sensory perception such as a smell, a color, or a flavor.
Now, I happen to mention to you that we both know a girl who could actually do that.
What? We both know a girl.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
It was Andeline.
I didn't know that
Our friend Andeline.
she's not really my friend, but carry on. We were never really friends.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Carry on.
And I remember that she was the worship leader, or our musical director in our church band.
Mm-hmm.
And she would often say certain sounds sounded like particular colors, which led
What do
me
you
to
mean? Like dread is now red.
she would sort of play certain things
And
on the
she
piano or certain musical things,
and she would see a color.
she would literally describe that as a particular color, like blue or purple. Purple was her favorite color, by the way.
That's good. That much I do know.
So maybe she was a little bit more biased towards purple than anything else. But I do recall her saying that from time to time, and I was like, huh? What do you mean? Because I'm a musician. I hear music all the time, and I do not associate it with colors or anything. I think the most I could do is maybe take, but this is a logical conscious thing, where I could say, okay, a major chord, because it's a happy sounding chord, might sound like the color yellow, or
but you don't see
a
it.
minor chord might sound like a dark blue or black.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something logical that I've come up with. It's not something that I naturally just do.
No.
Whereas with these people, it's part of everyday life. And imagine going through that, and actually, I mean, imagine the dimensions of life that you experience that most people just don't, because of these added. It's almost like added bonuses to your experience of life. It's amazing. That's very cool.
Yes, Bruce.
I'm kind of jealous.
I don't. Some of the stuff that I read actually doesn't sound as much fun as it is. But so this word, sorry, I just like knowing where these words that we talk about come from.
Mm-hmm.
And this comes from two Greek words, sin, which is together, and aesthesis, perception. Therefore, synesthesia. I told you I won't get it properly all the time.
Synesthesia. You said it right.
Synesthesia literally means joint perception. And some scientists believe that it results from crossed wiring in the brain. And they hypothesize that neurons and synapses, which I know, are supposed to be contained within one sensory system to cross to another sensory system, and it is unclear why this might happen, but some researchers believe that these crossed connections are present in everyone at birth, and only later are the connections refined. In some studies, infants respond to sensory stimuli in a way that researchers think may involve synesthetic perception, and it is hypothesized by these researchers that many children have crossed connections and later lose them. And adult synesthesia may have simply retained those crossed connections. So it's way in the beginning.
I'm not surprised that would be more prevalent in kids, or in us as kids. And then as we grow, as we mature, we lose a lot of those childlike ways of experiencing the world.
Mm-hmm.
Either through experience and get jaded and all kinds of stuff and all that, and we become adults. But then I'm not surprised that some people could retain that, I don't want to say like childlike perceptions, but just those little brain functions. And
it just interests me though who gets that. Like if we have that, all of us have that in the beginning of life.
Yeah. Only a very small portion actually just retain it into their adults.
I wonder if it's linked more with autistic people, but with artistic people. But that's just me thinking.
I wouldn't be surprised,
because it sounds like.
But I don't think it's limited to just autistic people. I can imagine it would be a big part of that, but.
There's this, I mean, in this article which I was reading, they speak with someone involved with, who has this, and interesting enough, she's a musician, and she says that guitar music, it feels like it's let me start this again. Once in a while, this stutter gets in the way when I want to say it, and it irritates me so much. So, and this is what you say, yes, Gareth, it's okay. Just look at me blankly. Screw you. Whatever.
Sorry, dude.
No, whatever. I don't care anymore. Oh, I'm on my own, it seems. Feeling bad. Anyways, she says that it brushes softly against her ankles. When she hears violins, she also feels them on her face. When she hears a trumpet, it is make themselves known on the back of her neck. In addition to feeling the sounds of musical instruments on her body, she sees letters and numbers in hues. And for her units of time, this is interesting, each have their own shape. She sees the months of the year as the cars on a Ferris wheel with July at the top and December at the bottom.
Wow, that's very specific.
Yes.
So obviously this is a Ferris wheel that is standing still and not turning, because otherwise.
Well, yeah. Thanks
Sorry.
for that. That's great, Bruce.
Cheapest. So imagine that. Imagine hearing different musical instruments and actually having them like a physical.
You can feel it.
Physical manifestation of nerves in your body. That's incredible, hey?
Now, some of these people, the synesthetes.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, I don't know. Yeah, they hear, smell, taste, or feel pain in color. Others taste shapes, and still others perceive written digits, letters, and words in color. Some who possess what researchers are calling conceptual synesthesia, they see abstract concepts such as units of times or mathematical operations as shapes projected either internally or in the space around them, and many of them experience more than one form of this condition.
Jeepers. That's amazing. So you could be like you could see math problems in a completely different way.
And I wonder, in all seriousness, if all that kind of stuff actually helps them to learn faster because they can see things, and I don't know.
Yeah,
it might have helped me in school.
Or could it be a hindrance?
That's true.
Could it hinder focus? Like you almost like can't concentrate on the problem at hand because you've got these colors and tastes and all these extra sensory
That's true.
things coming at you that you like. Maybe it gets a bit frustrating trying to work out just a simple maths problem.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Thank you.
I must say, I don't know if this is the same thing.
Oh, hey. Do it. And I'll laugh at you.
It's going to sound so weird. You probably don't even know this about me.
Oh, hey,
so 20 year friendship, and you're going to.
Hey, we all learn new things.
Tell you something you don't know.
Tell me something.
I don't even have to physically be there, but if I'm watching a movie, or even if I'm physically at the top of something very high,
okay,
and I look down,
yeah,
I get the weirdest feeling in the bottom of my feet. So this might be a very small.
I think that's just called fear, and your heart has dropped past your balls all the way to your feet, and that's all you're feeling. So I don't think it's synesthesia.
Maybe, but that's what happens. That's what happens. I literally, and it can be on a TV screen. But if that, if it's a shot of you're flying in a helicopter and suddenly the ground drops away into like this massive canyon, or it's like you're watching a mountain climbing movie and they look and they point the camera down. Yeah. I get it. I get this weird feeling in the bottom of my feet, in the soles of my feet.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if that's part of it, but that's the only sensory thing that really
that's interesting
happens. I know it's really strange.
So we can call you like a part-time synesthesia.
Part-time, yeah.
Synesthesia.
You can't pay me a full salary.
Exactly.
It's not part of the contract.
Somewhere.
Yeah, that's my little 2 cents worth. But do you have anything like that going on?
No. Not at all.
Sure.
No, I've never had that kind of thing.
Okay.
And that's the podcast. No, seriously.
But yeah, don't you think it would? I think it would add some very interesting dimensions to someone's life if they experience these things in different way. Considering, that the majority of us go through life just experiencing almost like one sense at a time kind of thing, whereas these people have this Gareth's word for the day, plethora.
Or plethora, actually, yeah.
It's all about putting the emphasis on the right syllables.
Thank you.
Of these things coming at you. You could almost make a movie out of this where you could actually, visualize all these different things that are happening to you at the same time. It's pretty cool. But how would you use that as a superpower? And how would you help others? Probably not.
Don't know if you can.
No.
To be honest.
Maybe those people are just allowed to enjoy aspects of life that we don't experience.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I was reading, and I can't find it now, but it was also there were a person saying it was good until everything was just bombarding you, and you can't switch it off at times.
Exactly. Yeah. Can it get overwhelming?
Can get over the like. This is great. This is cool. But actually, at times, I think it would get. From what I read, it can get a bit bombarding your system.
Yeah.
Actually, more your senses, kind of thing.
Yeah. Sure.
It says here that often people with this synesthesia, they describe having been driven to silence after being derided in childhood for describing these things, that had not yet been realized, so that they had not realized were atypical.
Right. Okay.
Because from being young,
yeah,
if you seeing that as your life, and you see it as, well, every person has it.
Yeah, you think it's just normal.
And the problem this is saying is that at times people don't speak about it because of that. People are going to go, that's just weird, or that's dumb.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is not.
Yeah, I read a story about a kid who just got who got an F in they were first asked to write about anything they liked, and then they wrote about this exact thing about I think she spoke about being able to hear colors or something, and the teacher wrote this massive F and like in big red lettering over her paper, you can't hear colors. And it's like, that's the worst thing.
Great way of teaching.
Yeah, that's the worst thing to do, because
firstly,
the teacher told them they could write about anything.
And they did.
And then she gets derided for it, because...
And that then blocks them off from dealing with it, yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
About 1 in 2,000 people are roughly 1 in 2,000 people, from what I'm reading, are synesthetes.
As many as that.
And some experts, suspect that as many as 1 in 300 have some variation. So you actually might have a very, very, very variation. Maybe you got. I don't know.
It might be a very isolated, very small case.
And
never thought about it.
This condition runs in families and is more common among women and men. But until recently, researchers could only speculate.
You said more common in
women than men.
Possibly because women can be a bit more emotional.
It's possible, yes.
And they're connected to their emotions.
They are more in touch with it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely that's a possibility.
And the most common forms is colored hearing, sounds, music, or voices seen as colors.
Right.
And many report that they see such sounds internally, like in the mind's eye, and only a minority see visions as if projected outside the body, usually within arm's reach. can actually see it.
Jeepers, that must be amazing.
But a minority of it, obviously.
But I don't know. Imagine you're playing on stage in a rock band.
That could be a whole experience.
Yeah, jeez. I think I gotta be honest. This kind of stuff, I think I would probably need to take a whole lot of serious narcotics in order to experience this, because I don't experience any of this.
Well, actually, interesting. It actually did speak about, about a drug trip,
Yes.
and they were saying it's slightly like that, but that's like but it should never be confused as an actual synesthesia moment,
Right.
because that's just drugs.
Okay. Now imagine if you are like one of these people, and you then do take some sort of mind-altering substance that could make for interesting experiences. And
It
probably
could, Bruce.
take everything to a whole new level. There are a lot of people talking about it on YouTube. I saw some TEDx talks about it. There's a lot of people explaining it around, and just like what you said, people will look at letters and they'll associate all that, associate colors.
But I wonder, there is one linked, I think, by taste as well.
Yes.
Like what you taste, you can actually see something, eh?
Or someone will look at someone will hear a person's name, a particular name, and they'll say, "Oh, that sounds like that name tastes like bacon." Yeah, I'm serious. Or
actually, yes, no, I do hear you.
Or like the name Gareth will taste like
what? Careful.
I don't know. Roast beef.
Nutella.
That's a good one.
60% dark chocolate with nuts and orange. See, I'll listen to you.
I've never tasted that version of Nutella. No, that was the Lindt chocolate I was talking about.
Damn it, Lindt chocolate. I was close.
Hey, but Nutella's up there, man.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to taste like Lindt chocolate. But anyway.
Okay. Could make things interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing some thoughts as to, we spoke about, maybe I spoke about because I speak too much. I do. You have to jump in. You know me.
I know.
Is is it good or bad? And I found a few things. Where this health magazine, or this health online life blah, 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 speaks about it, and it says there's, in their viewpoint, they found 10 disadvantages to having this thing.
I can imagine there are quite a few. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, 10 to be exact, Bruce. Well, more than 10, but this has got 10 on it.
Okay, cool.
So I'll just name them, and you can jump in.
Yeah,
these are pretty much. Support is one of them, which is from what we were saying.
There's a lack of support for
people.
Support,
yeah. It says that. Yeah, exactly. If they don't have the support of them, then they can feel alienated and feeling a little bit crazy, which makes sense, because you're now saying to me, exactly that when you ate that roast beef,
yes, it's
blue. Or when you saw a color, it tastes.
Yeah, I tasted strawberries when I saw that color, kind of thing. Yeah,
I'm like, bit of your rocker, bro. Just a little bit.
And that's it. Yeah. So when someone finds someone who can actually empathize from an actual experience, they're just going to feel a little bit more like, okay, I'm not the only person. I'm not going crazy.
Yeah.
And this is actually a real thing.
I like what they wrote in here. It says, additionally, synesthetes who were ridiculed as a child, or which we spoke about, and it gives a few things, and it ends off losing critical chances to enrich the world around them. I like that. we should be actually seeing, these people like that. They've got stuff to give the world that we don't have.
Yeah, exactly, because of how they see things. And
exactly.
Yeah.
Ridicule obviously wasn't there.
Yeah.
Stereotypes. Oh, so mass abilities, which is what we were speaking about, are sometimes difficult. Okay.
What did you say?
Mathematics. So
mathematical ability.
Although, let me. Yeah. So it says here that one common stereotype is that synesthetes are bad at maths. While synesthetes range in mathematical ability, just as nons, us uncolourful people, individuals with certain types of synesthesia may have to view the mathematical process a little differently.
Right. Which is sometimes a disadvantage because if a kid's sitting in a maths exam, they might find another way to come to the correct answer, but because they didn't use the right formula to get there, they're going to lose marks.
And there's
just because they're seeing that process differently. Yes, that's a problem.
There's one of the ways where which this happens is the plight of a person with, and this is called grapheme synesthesia, who views each number as having its own color. So this person can know quite logically that 2 plus 3 equals to 5. However, to them, this could look like pink and light blue equals to red. If they have had any experience with color therapy, they realize that red is a primary color and therefore cannot be created out of 2 secondary colors.
Jeepers.
In order to solve this addition problem, the synesthete. Now, see, this is intense. This is not. I can see it's not sometimes a good thing or an enjoyable thing at times.
Yeah.
So they must either disregard their colors temporarily or struggle to handle the situation that they find themselves in. So they're seeing numbers as colors and what is 5 and what is 3. It's not always as exciting as I think.
Can you imagine the hard work that would go into actually trying to just keep that under control in order to just form logical conclusions without these added interruptions? So that's something I didn't think about, eh?
No, exactly.
I was just getting jealous that people were seeing the world in a way more interesting way.
But it's way more involved than
it is
than what we're seeing things.
Yeah.
Going on what you were saying about Annalene, and music, how it can be good, and this is bringing in a view that's how sometimes it can be difficult. A person with sound color synesthesia, sometimes also called the colored hearing, will see a sound as the presence of a color whenever they hear the sound. While this can be pleasant at times, it can make it difficult for the musician to see their music, and they may find themselves relying on their memory more than their non-synesthetic peers.
That's incredible. So even though they're imagining the color in their mind, it can actually manifest in front of their...
They see it.
Or they manifest in front of their face.
No, I don't think that's what it's saying.
And then blocks out the actual vision of their...
I will see a sound as the presence of a color.
And then if it's that intense, would it actually block out the vision in order to, like they're trying to use to look at their music and on the music stand in front of them?
I don't know. This is as far as I know.
That would be my thought, that there's so much of this presence of this particular color in your head that you maybe just can't concentrate on the music that you're trying to follow in front of you.
Now we're going to up that now to something which makes sense as being really difficult.
Okay.
So if they perform, in a group,
yes,
ensemble, maybe it is also difficult at times because some synesthetes with colored hearing may hear everyone's voice as having a unique color.
Yeah.
Now, if they are involved in a choir,
Oh.
they could find themselves overwhelmed. I was right, by their perceptions when everyone is singing together, experiencing symptoms of sensory overload such as headaches and nausea.
Jeepers. Oh, I'm not
So,
surprised.
I think what they're seeing is amazing. Sorry, but it does have its difficulties having it as well.
Yeah. I wonder if I'm sure people have developed the ability to sort of balance it out. I'm sure it takes a lot of practice and a lot of concentration.
Yeah.
But we know that the brain's should it be the brain's brain signals and stuff the brain is malleable. So we can change. Is it maybe a case of changing thought patterns, or
From what I can read, this is them.
yeah,
It's not something which you can switch off and on. From what I can read about this,
or at least, or like I said, like not switch it on, switch it off, but just manage it almost to an extent that you can actually function, especially if you have it, especially have it as a very intense case.
I actually don't know,
Sure.
but I would imagine you could learn ways of dealing with it, because it's because otherwise it can be very it can not debilitating, but kind of like in that area.
Yeah, it could affect your everyday life negatively in quite a big way.
And you were saying, but sorry, you go.
No, I just say I'd love to actually speak to someone. I'd love to to speak to someone who experiences this.
Yeah,
so they can tell me in their own words, like, what is it actually?
Talking. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
and you were also mentioning, can things get to a point where the colors overtake their vision? And it actually is possible, So we're still on the sound color synesthesia. Okay, every sound has its own color, and often louder sounds will dominate the visual field. And an individual with sound color synesthesia will usually be unaffected by the extra colors, as their whole life has been spent in this matter.
right.
However, in situations with extreme or unexpected noises, they may find themselves overwhelmed. Fire drills are exceptional. I'm sure they are. Excellent example. To non-synesthetes, the noise of the fire alarm is loud, annoying, but does not change anything about his or her visual fields. To a synesthete with sound color synesthesia, this loud, unending sound obscures part, if not all, of their vision. This can be especially difficult when trying to exit the building during the drill, as they may bump objects or trip on objects on the floor.
So that's
difficult.
It's almost like being blinded by color, by a particular color, and they can't, literally, to the point where they can't see their hand in front of their face. That's crazy. That's sure. Wow. And obviously, people have got different, varying degrees of this. So you
can't get a degree in this. Dum.
Jeez, like, you're being so serious.
Unless you're like, well, I guess you could probably get a degree in understanding it. So there's possibility. But
oh my
I wouldn't
word!
know where to actually study it, though. Do you know a place?
That was quick, Garrett. That was very quick.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh my word.
I want to just bring up one final thing.
Cool.
If that's okay with you. The benefits of synesthesia. So some case report studies have found that the grapheme color synesthetes performed above average in visual search tasks. In visual search tasks, and some single case studies have also reported superior performance in memory tests. The finding of a performance advantage in visual searches that synesthesia is a perceptual phenomenon.
Wow.
Phenomenon. Phenomenon. That's from the Muppets. Mana mana. Mana mana.
Oh, I remember.
Mana mana.
That's where it is. I was wondering what I watched The Office and they sang that. And
Oh, really?
I wondered where it was from.
Mana mana. Mana mana.
Okay. All right.
Exactly.
So not only have I been educated in synesthesia today, I've been reminded of where that song is.
Thank you.
Where that song is from.
But so that was the negative stuff, but there's far more positive than that. The good stuff that we have been speaking about. It was just an interest for me, as in, can it be a difficult thing as well as, a positive and a good thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think it'd be quite interesting to like experience it for a day. And you actually go, whoa, we live most of the time we live very average day-to-day lives, and I think
that is actually very true.
Something like that could just
that is very
make
true,
things a little bit more interesting than just the norm. So, I must say, but chatting to someone who actually has that would be a very interesting conversation.
Yes. That is correct, Bruce.
Yes.
On that note, I'm just
Have you found another pearl of wisdom there?
I thought I had,
Oh dear, but you didn't.
but it's pretty much. Well, I just want to, kind of like put it is positive as well.
Yes.
It's not just that. I just wanted to end on the fact that it is difficult,
Yes.
which we can see for a lot of. It is difficult,
Yes.
but I would imagine that it's also is a good thing as well.
Yeah, I think, but I think people who are, I think if we go back to, like we said, okay, cool, it's a little bit more prevalent in women because of the emotional aspect.
Well, that's what we think.
But I think anyone, male or female, that's maybe a little bit more sort of lean towards the emotional side of things would probably have this to a certain extent. I wouldn't be surprised. Like you said, okay, fine, it's more prevalent in women, but males have it too. Men have it too. So
Men have what?
synesthesia.
Okay.
Yeah. So
We all have our feelings hidden deep inside of us, yeah.
yes,
And just
Like-
women seem to show it more.
yeah. Like with me, I'm completely emotionally closed off, so I won't.
That is besides your feelings in your feet.
Yes, yeah. I'm very emotionally attached to
Your
heights.
feet. Yeah.
My feet are emotionally.
So do you actually
attached to
have a
height.
fear of heights?
I think I do to a certain extent.
Okay.
But it's weird because I love flying. I love being in airplanes. But if I'm standing on a building and I look down, I'm like, no. But I don't experience. I don't think I experience what you would call typical vertigo. I have this weird feeling in my feet.
There's this. There's more than one place, but there's this place in. I'm sorry, I think it's in China or Japan, one of the two. In wild, in the wild, as in like you go hiking and blah blah blah, and,
Yes.
and there's this walkway from one side to another, obviously.
Yes.
And it's glass.
Oh yes,
So
I've
you
seen
can
it.
walk and you can look like
Like right down into. There is a building there. I think it's in. I don't know where it was. It's a building in America on one of the high-rise buildings. You can stand in this sort of glass box that extends out from the building.
Oh wow.
And you can stand on glass and look straight down to the pavement below. Yes. Saw that on documentary. It freaked me out.
Yeah, no, I don't do heights if I can help it.
Yeah.
I've
I'd probably stand on the solid part of the building looking out into the little sort of extension, but I won't go and stand on that thing. That was just...
No, the only thing which I've done that was scary at first, but was amazing when I got over the fear was when I I skydived that one time. That was quite something.
That's impressive, because there are two things that I won't do. I will not jump out of a perfectly good airplane, and I won't jump off a perfectly good bridge. So
obviously you wouldn't jump off a bridge unless you're going to go bungee jumping.
Yeah, exactly. I won't bungee jump.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
I won't bungee jump and I won't skydive.
Yeah, look, bungee jumping, I would have to have a really good reason to bungee or to skydive again.
I think that especially bungee, maybe skydiving is different, but bungee jumping, there's something you've really got to put aside every sort of human instinct not to jump and force yourself over that edge, if you like.
And your bowels after that as well, dude.
Oh, no, I won't. I'm not going to do that. I like getting kicks and adrenaline rushes, but I'll do that on solid ground or in an airplane that I don't have to jump out of.
Yes. On that note. So it is very interesting. It does have its positives. I would imagine that the positives outweigh, and from what we can see, it's not every synesthesia that actually has the huge overload of everything going on.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a small...
But also what you're saying too is I think that they are more aware of what's going to happen, and they are ready. Okay, when this happens, it's going to be. But I think the benefits would outweigh the bads for sure. I mean, imagine being at for example, a classical concert and just seeing the colors ripple everywhere.
That would be, yeah.
So we don't have it, so we can't say if it's been good or bad. But I think that the stuff that they can see, and like the one person was saying that we actually need to see them enrich the world more.
Yeah, that's also true. Sure.
Good.
Very interesting discussion.
Goodbye.
Nice. Thank you to Rowan Jennifer Keat for
that's
that.
Correct.
For that idea.
Keat. He's in the UK. If you need a really good accountant.
Give RJ a call.
Give RJ a call on 44. No. Just leave a message in the in our comment box
section.
and say I need help from RJ, and I will link you up to him.
Awesome.
And pains me to do this, but I feel so bad that I laughed at Rowan. I'm going to have to say this. Aston Villa, blimey, is a great team.
Jeez, that hurt you to say, right?
All right, I'm going now.
And on that note, this has been the Spaghetti Junction podcast. My name is Bruce.
We love you.
What's
Gareth,
your name?
I think my name is Brown.
Brown, yes, okay.
Actually, no, my name is Blue.
And you taste like?
Chicken. Thank you, Bruce.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.
Add your no notifications on so you know when we drop our next podcast.
That's it. Awesome.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.